All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? So I watched a lot of football this weekend, and before the football started, somebody sent me a link to this new Superman spot. And sure enough, they played it a number of times during the footballs this weekend with the new Superman spot. Now, it was 95% the same footage we've seen before, with two notable differences. One was a shot of Lex. Not a lot to talk about here, walking off a plane and what I assume is him about to break into the Fortress of Solitude, I'm guessing, wearing his Oakleys or whatever it is those were he was wearing. Cool shot, not much to talk about there. But the key thing that everybody's talking about was our actual flight footage. 0.8 seconds of Superman flight footage and getting our first kind of peek at what he looks like flying through the air. Now, being as it was only like 1.2 seconds, it is kind of funny seeing the entire internet trying to base their opinion of an entire upcoming movie based on 1.2 seconds of something I saw.
That isn't finished.
Yeah. By the way, this isn't the first time we as movie fandom have done this.
No, you think we'd know better, John.
You'd think we would, but we don't.
We don't.
And we never will. So I got two thoughts about the Superman flight thing. One is positive. One is something I didn't like so much. Let me start with the thing that I thought was positive. The first part of the shot where the camera's behind him, this shot right here, and he's traveling at like Mach 1, and he hits that crevice and just does that quick as he's flying, like very Top Gun-ish, right? I thought that looked awesome for all half a second of it, but it looked awesome. And it gave me a great sense of the movement. You felt the speed. I mean, I was a little bit afraid we might get a Vespa gang thing. Remember, like they're racing through the streets and they're like going this fast in Book of Boba Fett. No, this guy felt full throttle. This guy felt like he was flying. The movement, it looked and felt awesome. Now, I think most people are in agreement that looked really good. Here's the part that gets people wondering. It's the shot right behind me. Or, I'll bring up the image here. This is the part that has some people talking. Now, let me tell you about the one thing that I think is stupid. People are talking about like his face, his eyes, and stuff like that. What does your face look like if you stick your head out the window just in a car going 70 miles an hour? You get
super attractive.
Yeah.
Period. Always.
It's like
no more
at every
discussion.
moment. Always stunning and gorgeous.
as you're getting hit
Don't
by
fact
everything.
check me. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it looks perfectly good. Here's the thing I didn't love. And again, this is a fraction of a second shot. I acknowledge that. I didn't like the creative choice of this shot basically looks like a YouTuber who puts on a GoPro with the super wide angle. That's what it is, with the super wide angle lens where you see everything moving except their face, right? And that's the creative choice they made for that shot. And there's two things I didn't like about it.
Like it's on a gimbal.
Yes, so the face is perfectly centered, but everything.
Yeah.
So there's two things about the shot that I don't like. Number one is the perspective. I just don't like the perspective of, I like to feel like the camera is there and independent of the guy. Instead, in this shot, it felt like the camera was like a YouTuber. It was directly connected to his head.
Yes.
And everything else was moving except him, right? And I just didn't like that creative choice. That's all. I just don't like the creative choice. Here's the second thing, though. Quite often when you get those GoPros mounted on a YouTuber's face that has the super, super wide angle lens, it makes the face look a little weird. It can make the eyes look like they're going a little bit in different directions.
So like in
even when they're
Severance,
not.
when he goes down the elevator.
Yes, that's exactly it, right? And it just it was a weird juxtaposition of that first shot from behind that felt kinetic and felt like there was movement and power, to this kind of an awkward shot where, yes, he's got Mach 1 air pressure blowing in his face, but it's also that weird, his head looks a little bit disproportionate from his body because of the camera angle. And I get it, that's the way the kiddies shoot their videos now, but I didn't like that creative choice. Has no impact on how good or bad the movie's going to be. That's just the one thing from this 1.2 seconds of footage that kind of sat a little odd with me, Chris. I mean, that's all. I just didn't like that choice. I wish it was an independent camera, like the shot before it was, a little bit further back, and it felt like the camera was its own thing. So all of Superman, including his face, was moving a little bit in the frame. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't know, but you saw the footage. What did you think about it? Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Kikoff. January always feels like recovery mode, doesn't it? I mean, after all the holiday fun and, let's be honest, all the holiday spending, it can feel like a credit hangover. But don't worry, I've got the perfect solution to help you bounce back in 2025. Kikoff, the #1 credit building app in the App Store. Kikoff is a total game changer if you're looking to start building or improving your credit. Their plans? They start at just $5 a month. No credit check, no hidden fees, and no interest. Everybody's been there, guys. Trying to navigate credit can feel like a maze, but Kikoff makes it easy. You can sign up in minutes on your phone and be instantly set up with a credit line designed specifically for building credit, not for spending. And here's a fun fact. If your credit's under 600, you could jump around 28 points in your first month. It's that simple. Shake off the credit hangover and look forward to brighter credit with Kikoff. Get your first month for just $1 at getkikoff.com/Campea today. That's getkikoff, KIKOFF.com/Campea. Must sign up via kikoff.com/Campea to activate offer. Offer applies to new customers first month only. Subject to approval. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions may apply. Points out based on Equifax VantageScore 3.0 changes for Kikoff users starting under 600 who made their first on-time payment between January 2021 and March 2024. Payment and credit activity outside of Kikoff can have an impact on your credit. Individual results may vary.
I just thought his face was so strong the wind couldn't move it. He's a strong man. Got those face muscles locked in.
I actually am okay with that because
Yeah.
he's a bullet could hit his face and it'd be
Exactly,
fine, so I
yeah.
don't think
He's a strong boy. Wind's not going to move him. It's fine.
he moves the wind.
Yeah.
He moves the wind.
That's all.
He's like the wind.
All wind is just Superman farts. That's all it is. Just
That's the whole premise of the DCU
in the
now.
DC world, it's all his fart.
Whenever there's a wind, someone's like, whoa,
Yep.
Superman.
it's a
That's all it is.
Superman fart effect.
yeah.
Rob, what did you think of what we saw?
Well, I kind of feel exactly the same way as you do. I think look, I was inundated by people, the comparison between every other Superman, especially Henry Cavill, and this. I'm like, guys, I get it. But from my frustration is that let's wait and see the movie.
Right.
My thing about this shot is there's no emotion in his face either. We should have had some interactivity because just the flying that fast, your skin is going to ripple. There's going to be some movement.
When you see around, especially around his cheeks, you do see a little bit of that, a little of the distortion in his cheek.
But also, if
Yeah.
you're in the
You gotta
Arctic or something, it just. But look at this. Look at his mouth. I'm not saying you should open his mouth because he might get an Arctic bug in it or whatever. But it just. Is there joy? Is he having fun? Is he upset? Is he flying someplace?
Well, we don't know the context of the
I
scene,
think
right?
he looks determined.
Yeah, he looks focused.
See, it looks to me a little like I want a little bit more. Give me a little bit more. This looks a little neutral. And I understand why people are look, this movie is going to have to overcome. I still have all the faith in the world that this movie is going to be delightful. I think it's going to be an epic superhero fantasy romp. I really do. I really think it's going to be a great film. I don't think that they're doing such a great job convincing the rest of the world of this in terms of what they're releasing.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like, when you looked at IMDb and Fandango, both put out their polls, and both of them showed that after the trailer came out,
it's true.
Superman is now the #1 most anticipated movie of the year. So it must be moving the needle for some people.
I guess I should say within our little small circle of film fans.
Right.
Within the imagination connoisseur sphere that I inhabit, that we all inhabit, which admittedly is very small. The rest of the universe is like, great, Superman movie's coming, they're excited. But man,
this is also a very.
I'm all in on this. I hope it's good because otherwise I'm going to lose everything.
By the way, I still believe there is I'm going to say a 25% chance. I believe there's a 25% chance they are straight up going to show us this movie at CinemaCon because everything is riding on this movie.
Feels that way.
They're starting out the new DCU with it. They took Flash and showed it there. They're going to want to get people talking about this. I actually wrote to James Gunn and said, any chance you guys are actually going to show this there? No response, of course.
Yeah.
No response. But I think there's a chance.
Look, I think we all want this movie to be great.
Yeah.
No, we don't. There's certainly a small but vocal group of people that do not want this movie to be great.
Everyone
But
in
yes,
this room.
all of us in this room do.
Yeah.
Most sane, normal people want the movie to be good. Even people who are skeptical about it. Sane, normal people who are skeptical about it still want it to be good. They may have their doubts if it's good, and that's perfectly fair. But I really like the shot. I just don't like that creative choice of using the YouTube selfie.
Yeah, and that's another thing you're fighting against. That's a perception a lot of people have, because it does kind of look like a face was pasted on. Like, I could put my face on that same shot and make it look good.
But whenever you do
Go,
something like
internet,
that,
go.
Hey, we'll start working on that
Yeah.
right now.
but like whenever you do that and you get one of those cameras rigged to you where it follows your face, that it always has
does
that
that
impact. Like, it
distort.
always makes it feel like it's a fake face.
distorts.
Well, because you
it.
have the proximity effect.
Yes, that's
which
it.
is an issue, and then the wider lens with the movement around it just distorts all of your features because of how close it is.
And another problem too is that it would have helped if, like you see him go in and he kind of looks around when he's spinning around. If maybe he brought one of his hands up, it's the rest of him is very still, having some kind of more movement.
I do you still have the one you had a shot up there a little bit earlier, Jonathan? Yes, that's one. So that's one where you can see like the legs are moving a bit. But I saw this entire online debate about arms out flight versus arms straight flight. And like people were on both sides were very passionate. Just like, is that what we're arguing about here? Again, it was like 1.2 seconds of footage. I do want to address one thing that I've seen some people in the live chat said, Superman's skin wouldn't react to the wind like ours would. I would counter that with two things. Number one, I don't know if you still have the picture from behind when he's flying, Jonathan. Well, then that's saying that Superman's hair shouldn't blow in the wind.
Yeah.
And even Henry's hair blew in the wind, right? But also I want to point this out. Superman's skin on this straight on shot here is not reacting like our skin would. Our skin at Mach 1 or 2, exposed to the elements, would be ripping off the bone. His is just a little whatever, stuff like that. I just want to make sure that's
We
thrown
come
out.
out looking like Fire Marshal Bill.
Yeah,
when we were done.
yes. That's exactly how we would look if we stuck our head out the window of a plane going at Mach 1. It would be a little bit different. We'd be dead. I want you to do the entire rest of the show in that voice.
All right.
That would be good. I mean, I don't know. I still have my doubts about how big this movie will be. Of course, I've never felt that it needs to be big. It needs to be good so that the other films can be big. Of course, they've just started shooting Supergirl, which is pretty exciting, especially now that we know Jason Momoa is officially Lobo and all that kind of stuff. But we'll see. I also believe, listen, we're a couple of weeks away from Super Bowl now. I think we are getting a big ass trailer. I think we're going to get like a 3-minute trailer. Not on Super Bowl. Super Bowl, they'll show 30 seconds and say full trailer online now. But I think we're going to get a big trailer.
I also think the studio knows what they have.
Yeah.
I think they know.
Yeah.
Because so much is riding on this. If there was, they've tried to say that, there was that news that came out, that there was a test screening, and no. If there was a problem with this movie, then the town would know.
You know what's funny is you talk about this isn't even a finished shot. There's a strong possibility this particular shot is not even in the movie.
There is that possibility.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they put this stuff out. It's not done yet. They'll finish it, but they also trickle this in to get fan reaction, and then they make adjustments. So it's fine.
This is their ugly Sonic.
They're like, we'll never get this done by July. Exactly.
Anyway, no matter how good the
his
shot
eyes
looks or how bad the shot looks, I think anybody trying to build a premise around that this movie is going to be good or bad, great or terrible, based on a 1.2 second shot is a little bit crazy. But anyway, guys, question is for you. What did you think of the flight footage? I think there was a lot to like about it. There was a creative choice in there that I didn't like. Other people have some real serious problems with it. How did you feel about it? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.